They stepped in, played their minutes the right way, and just gave to the group. And that's what we said this Orlando Magic team is. We're going to defend. We're going to pull for one another. We're going to try to play the right way, night in and night out.
Magic will travel to Milwaukee for a Tuesday night matchup against Bucks. It's 58 degrees at 2 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Attention. Attention.
They are not ready for prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time. That's the name.
Prime time.
Prime time.
What time is it? Showtime prime time.
It's XL Prime Time. Featuring Joe C.
I reduced my toilet paper down to 3 squares.
Matt Hayes.
Big asses and big thighs, yeah.
And Leon Searcy.
Bringing you love, peace, and soul.
How you like me now? How you like me now?
Oh, love getting together on a Monday, a Mokama Beer Company Monday, as we are ready to crank it out. Half of the show up here in Nash-Ville, as I was at the game yesterday. What an ugly football game it was. And then the other half back in the 1010XL studios. Joe C. hanging out at Old Red Airport. And I've already seen some Jaguar fans that were making their way to their flights earlier, and then a few a little bit later on. I got to catch a flight later on tonight. But if you are out and about, you got the app on, you want to just drop on by, we would love to see you, Old Red. And I'll tell you what, it is full of folks right now. They will have another band cranking up in just a little bit. But let's crank up our band with Big Searcy. We are minus Matty Hayes today, coming out of championship weekend and into what should be a lot of discussion about the college football playoff. But he'll be back after a couple days out in Vegas. And Coach Campo hanging out with us as well, fellas. So we're going to start with the Jags, as we always do. That was a butt-bad, ugly game. But in the end, they were able to somehow or another scratch out some fourth-quarter points. We've seen it before, Leon. All of a sudden, Mac Jones says, wait a minute, number 7 is on this roster? Let's start throwing it to him. And they just went tick right down the field and scored. But how did you take in the game overall? 60 minutes of some bad ball.
It was bad ball. Absolutely, it was bad ball. But you know what? I take it against a heated rivals like the Titans. I'll take a win all day. It doesn't matter. You know how much I hate those jokers over there. So, but here's the thing. We was talking about this on the fifth quarter yesterday. The Jaguars did something that we've been asking them to do all season long. It's to finish. It's to finish the ball game. It took them 14 weeks to get to the point where they just got enough was enough, and they found a way to win the game. Not only offensively but defensively. The stops that we made, the deflections, the pressures, all stopping the run. Us offensively getting the ball to number 7. Seems to work, huh, Coach? You get the ball at number 7, he's a playmaker. So, I mean, this is just it's baffling to me. As much as I enjoyed the win against the Titans, it's just amazing to me that it took them this long to figure out that you can win ball games if you find a way to finish. And it was good to see them finish the game yesterday on a winning note.
Yeah.
What do you think, Coach?
Well, first of all, let me just say this. Going into the game, I felt really the way I feel about this next game against the Jets, but I felt that offensively we were equal. Defensively, I thought they were much better than we were. But you look at the game, and the defense played well. They had a sudden change. Right after the one interception, they went 3 and out. And then they had a goal line stand where they kept them out of the end zone. The penalty helped them, but they still did it. And then offensively, they had 8 drives, Joe. And of those 8 drives, 3 of them were really good. And against a defense that I think is one of the better defenses in the league. So I think that's a real positive, even though, and as a defensive coach, I like a game like that. I love those low-scoring jobs. So it was good. It's a win. It's a win no matter what, and they finished.
It's funny because we have the Battle of the Vills, and we had fun as we unveiled the championship belt on Friday with 104.5 The Zone. Right now, it's in Duval's hands. We'll see what happens when they come calling coming up in just a couple of weeks. But I agree with you. Low-scoring game. They did make stops, but I'm telling you, Coach, that was just an awful awful offense to watch. Will Levis, his inaccuracies, his inability to make the timely decision. They finally were able to get the ball. They got the ball to Calvin Ridley a number of times, but they weren't able to do a whole heck of a lot with it. The other guy who had scored a touchdown in 8 straight games, you were starting to look out for him as well. But they just had no flow offensively. This team did not either. And so the yardage totals were way down, the third down conversions down. But you're right. When they needed to make stops, they were able to make them. And this is what I want, fellas. Okay, to feel good in December with one win against your rival, but now just go ahead and stop it, okay? Because as soon as you win one, you take a look at where the draft order is right now, and they fall right now into the 5th position. So we will see whether or not they're going to win a few more and maybe drop a little further down.
Well, Joe, this is where you and me and Coach, different from you as far as winning games, because I know everybody's concerned about the draft pick or whatever. This, first and foremost, first-round picks are 50-50. They're a coin flip.
Yeah,
all right?
true.
So if you're a coaching staff or if you're a player and you just won the game on the road against a heated rival, now you got a little momentum. And I know the fans don't want to hear that, Leon. We don't want to need no more wins. But, listen, it's all about the feel-good right now. All right, this team has been on a 5-game losing streak, had to deal with a bye week where they got destroyed by the Detroit Lions 56-2. So you go and watch the film on Monday, today,
right,
and you make the corrections, and you see yourself having success, moving the ball, stopping the run, all that kind of stuff. Now it's on to beat the Jets. And now next thing you know, you got yourself a little run, and next thing a little run becomes a streak, and down the road somewhere, dare I say, you're 7-10.
Okay, so let me and I love it, man. I love it because the only way you get to 7 is to get from 2 to 3, and they actually, they finally did that. But this goes back to our Friday discussion. Are these job-saving games? Are these, hey, look at what we've done of late? And that's where I think Coach, Leon, Matt, I think all you guys are of the mindset that this thing could be that Shad could preserve his head coach, preserve his GM, let them keep their jobs heading in next year. That is the last thing I want to see happen.
Well, I feel, listen, having worked with Jerry Jones pretty closely and with him a long time, the one thing I found was that billionaires don't like it when somebody tells them they need to do something. The media, the fans, they don't like that. They're used to making their decisions, and they're doing it their way. Now, I don't know Shad Khan, but I know he's a billionaire. Right. And I'm not sure with his background that that isn't the way he feels right now. I'll show these guys I made the right decision this time. There was a thing today on I think on a show that Hacker does, or going to be on tonight or whatever, that somebody said that they've won more games in the last 3 years than he has in the whole time he's owned the team.
Right.
Regardless of the fact that they're, 4 and 15 or whatever. Mm-hmm. So everybody's right, I think, to think that there's a possibility of change. I would feel the same way. So would Leon. So would everybody else. But I just am not 100% sure that it's going to happen.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that gets me more than anything else. And we all know what we want. And I hung out with a bunch of Jaguar fans over the last handful of days, and they're all asking the same basic question: will he or won't he? And they're referring to Shad, and most of them are like, man, there's no way they can't keep it going like this. And you can defend Doug with 2 9-win seasons. This football team has not had a whole lot of success, or much less back-to-back winning seasons. So I get all that. But then, like we have said and maintained, is that you can't help but put your eyes on the product this year, Leon, and know that it just doesn't look the same. And you could go to the roster eval. That's where Trent Baalke has to take some serious responsibility or accountability on Shad's part, where he looks at his GM and goes, what was all this crap about this best roster this franchise has ever had? Show it to me. And then, hey, by the way, why don't you show me where that second-round draft pick Mason Smith is starting to make plays? Well, it's unbelievable, some of the rotational sequences that you see on the defensive side of the football. Now, they did okay okay defensively against a very bad offensive football team yesterday. But I do not want anyone to be lulled to sleep, Leon, with some dubs that make them think that this is good enough to keep around.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I mean, listen, we're 3-10. Your record speaks volume to who you are as an organization, as a coach, and as a player. But the thing that I'm looking at right now, as far as, I'm trying to eliminate all the white noise. I'm trying to look at the younger guys,
right.
how the Parker Washingtons, the Stranges, the Jones, the Vontrell Millers, those type of guys. What kind of impact are they having? Because sometime next year, those are going to be the guys that you lean on as far as leadership. How
right.
are they ascending? How are they growing into their own? Even Mason Smith, Coach was watching it yesterday. He said he made some plays down the stretch. Now, he's been a healthy scratch the vast majority of the season, but in the game he made, a couple of penetrations, a couple of stops, all that kind of stuff. So what I'm looking at, listen, I know there's smoke and mirrors out there, and I know I'm not going to be swayed by W's, but I'm very interested in see how this team is growing youth-wise and how productive
right.
they're going to be, because we're going to need them. We need them to perform well down the stretch, but those are the kind of guys that you probably going to have to lead on as far as leadership goes when next season rolls around.
Yeah, because if we start going down the line and you start seeing, and there definitely have been contributions. There are guys that you can point to that you say, you know what, these are chips. These are a few guys that you can building blocks, however you want to describe it, that you can count on and start to build on. But we know when we're talking about the class of the league, who they go up against. They have had decent games at times on one side of the ball, decent games on time on the other side of the ball, but there's really no flow, consistency, feel, vibe that you've got a football team that's really been well constructed. And Coach, you had your challenges before when you were basically told who you had to coach because the GM was Jerry Jones. But when you're handicapped a little bit because you don't have enough guys that can make plays for you.
Well, one of the things that you learn in the league is two things. One is, an assistant, this is why, when you make a change, it doesn't necessarily mean that everything is hunky-dory.
Right.
Because look at the head coach down at Miami. I know some guys down there that they're trying to organize the thing to get him fired. It's not a guarantee. And the one thing about going from an assistant coach, everybody wants this young assistant coach, which is okay, to become a head coach. The one thing for sure is that there's a difference between being a coordinator where the only decisions you're making is whether or not a guy is good enough to play that position that day, and then you're calling plays.
Right.
But the head coach is all about decision making. And sometimes those guys are not the same decision makers that other guys are. That's why the Bill Belichick's come into play. That's why to be honest with you, why Doug Peterson came into play. So that's one of the things that, kind of holds you back there a little bit. And again, look, if you ask me directly, do you think this should be change made? I would answer the question, yes. But I'm not sure what that change is. Whether it's a couple of the coaches, whether it's, the head coach, whether it's the GM, I'm just not sure, Joe.
Mm-hmm. And you can look at, and there are just so many little pieces of the puzzle that you have to be able to put together to know that you're going to be able to get a chance to be able to go out, score at will, take on every team, every defense in the National Football League, not just score against the ones that suck, but be able to do it on a regular basis. And an identity on the offensive side. Same thing on the defensive side. Whoever rolls in, that you've got a group of players. And so that's where we got to arrive at. Who has established themselves? The one very obvious one is Brian Thomas. When they finally started getting him the football, 8 catches, 86, nearly 90 yards, and he was basically the guy that led him down the field for Tank Bigsby to get in and scored the only touchdown, one touchdown in that game yesterday. We watched the red zone later on that night, and that was like, wait a minute, look, there it is, because that was the only touchdown that was scored. So there just aren't enough playmakers. And you guys start looking around and evaluating other rosters. You know as well as I do, there are playmakers. You can play fantasy football. You can take a look at odds, like at hardrock.bet, and all you're thinking about, prop games, trying to figure out who's going to score. This team, I'll just tell you a quick anecdote. So the son-in-law, who, by the way, I'm moving him way up in the power rankings because he set us up here at Old Red, set us up at Old Red downtown. We had a great time. Went to the game. He and his brother Jake, they sat in the stands. I sat in the press box. But we were going through some prop bets, and I got hardrock.bet, and there's a sports book, actually Category 10 downtown, had a sports book up on the 4th floor, really cool. And so you can go in there and you're making your prop bets, and we're trying to figure out who do we think ETN's going to score? Do we think Brian Thomas is going to score? Will Calvin Ridley get even against his old team? And then we finally came to the realization neither one of these teams are capable of scoring a lot of points. So why in the world would you bet on them compared to some of the other teams that were out there yesterday?
Well, Joe, I mean, what we are doing is we're beating the bad teams we're supposed to beat, and then we're keeping the good teams within one possession. I mean, I'm reaching for straws here now. Just hear me out. Yeah. There's a lot of bad in front of us, including us. All right, including us. So there's a Jet team that's bad. There's a Raiders team that's bad. We got the Titans again, and then we got the Colts as well. So I mean, you're looking at bad in front of us. So I mean, it could be the Jaguars could run the table. Sort of.
Yeah, that's the part that honestly it should scare you just a little bit. And I'm not 100% in the camp where suck, lose as many as you can, because this team has blown a lot of very high draft picks. So it's not like they've been able to take draft picks and do great things with them. But they did dip to 5th with that win yesterday, and you had a couple of other teams, because now you have an actual tiebreaker. If you go to tankathon.com, at least for the here and now, Jacksonville, believe it or not, has the tiebreaker over Tennessee just based on strength of schedule and conference wins and all this kind of stuff, where they would be picking behind them. But you just have to be real careful on where you want to be when it comes to the actual draft pick. And I'm not saying there's a can't-miss guy at the top and this team should lose the rest of them, because Coach has pride, Leon has pride. You guys have lived this. There's no way, as much as, like, Anton Harrison did not play yesterday, so they had to go to Cole Van Lanen. Let's just find out who else maybe gets out there. You think Cole Van Lanen's going to lay down and be soft and make sure they have a better draft pick when this is his best opportunity to actually get in a ball game, right, Leon?
No, Cole Van Lanen is trying to get film for this team or the next team, whoever it may be. So
Leon has his own thoughts about
Anton.
Well, okay, all right. Let's use that as a nice little tease and get to that coming up here in just a second, because we'll bring that up. You guys can hit the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. You can jump in the YouTube chat. You can see I'm hanging out at Old Red, Nash-Ville Airport. Coach Campo hanging out with Big Searcy in the studios. You guys can throw some thoughts in. But not only do we have to get to that, we got to get to the AP poll, the college football playoff, the way it all sets up. Alabama left out. First one out, Alabama. Second one out, Miami. So we'll get into all that coming up. It is XL Primetime on Mocama Beer Company Monday. I always tell you that I love the craft, and they can definitely do it for you. Tuesday through Sunday, you can enjoy great craft beer from Mocama up there in the tap room. Beautiful Fernandina Beach on South 8th Street, and then also their Wildlight location. Or if you're just out and about and you want to buy somebody some good craft beer for Christmas, head to Total or ABC. Put a bow on it, and they will love it. A Mocama Beer Company Monday as we hang out talking Jags, Titans, and the college football playoff.
He may have started his career somewhere else, but he found his home in Duval.
Join me, Jeff Lageman, for Check the Tape Tuesday on Jaguars Today.
Brought to you by Jack's Napa Auto Care Group.com. Go to the pros Napa know-how on 1010XL.
Hey, sports fans, Gibby here, and we are back to Monday Night Football tonight after another profitable betting weekend on MyBookie. If you didn't hit, well, you have the Cincinnati Bengals traveling to Dallas as 5.5-point favorites on Monday Night Football. We'll take that spread all day as the Bengals are actually good, and they are in a must-win scenario to stay in the playoff hunt. A high point total in this one with a 49.5-point over-under. Take a hard look at a parlay bet with the Bengals covering the 5.5 points and the under 49.5. Guys, MyBookie has the best sign-up bonus in the industry for Florida bettors. Our listeners can just sign up and use the promo code 1010XL to claim a bonus that doubles your money on your very first deposit up to $1,000. That's promo code 1010XL to claim your double deposit bonus from Monday Night Football. Bet anywhere, anytime, and make your season a winning season with MyBookie.
Huddle up this season at Hurricane Grill and Wings, where every day is game day. Enjoy their famous wings, new cocktails, and happy hour deals at the perfect spot to catch all the football action. Escape the ordinary. HurricaneWings.com.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers.
Florida's weather is unpredictable. Don't let the Epic Chill catch you off guard. For reliable heating services, call Epic Cool Heating and Air. Keep your home cozy all season long. Call 904-859-EPIC, 904-859-3742. Get off the ladder and put on the helmet with Gutter Helmet of North Florida. We are family owned and manufactured locally. Cleaning your gutters is a dangerous and dirty job. That's why with Gutter Helmet, you'll never clean your gutters again. Water goes in your gutters while trash and debris go on the ground. It won't collect like filters do. Gutter Helmet protects. Call now for 10% off and a free gutter cleaning and tune-up with your purchase of Gutter Helmet. Call 904-762-7779.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm dedicated to helping businesses manage risk, maximize opportunities, and move their company forward. Jimerson Burr attorneys are business-oriented lawyers, equally comfortable as community leaders, private transaction counselors, or courtroom advocates. If you have a legal issue of any kind affecting your business, contact the firm at 389-0050 or jimersonfirm.com.
The inflation fighter is back and saving you thousands at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. Mia here, and right now at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned, just $500 down and $288 per month gets you a pre-owned 2021 Toyota Corolla. Or you choose a pre-owned 2021 Camry, RAV4, or Tacoma for just $500 down and $388 per month. You also get no payments till January 2025. It's all at Arlington Toyota Pre-Owned. Shop in person, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, or online at arlingtontoyota.com.
Fear the Spear.
Plant your spear and get the latest news and notes from Tallahassee.
It's all about Tomahawk Nation on the Seminole Report. Brought to you by your local Ag Pro, your home team on 1010XL.
Yo, what's happening, fellas? It's your boy E to the T, and I'm going to keep it real. We could all benefit from a little something extra in the bedroom. Blue Chew can help. Now I'm about to tell you how you can get some for free. Blue Chew is an online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in a chewable form and at a fraction of the cost. No doctor visits, no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Blue Chew ships right to your door in a discreet package. Not even them nosy neighbors gonna know what's going on. Blue Chew's licensed medical providers work with you to find the right ingredients and strength for your prescription. And did I mention the chewable? Just like popping a Mentos. And they're made right here in the good old US of A. Now you're asking, how do I get my Blue Chew? Visit BlueChew.com and make sure to enter promo code 1010XL at checkout. Try it for free and just pay $5 shipping. Turn that oh no into a oh yeah. That's right. Use promo code 1010XL and let your boy hook you up with some Blue Chew. Get your confidence back. Visit BlueChew.com.
1010XL's Army-Navy focus is anchored by Superior Fence and Rail, where quality matters.
I'm Chris Griffith, United States Marine combat veteran. The Navy, a determined unit both in water and sky, honoring the most storied members of naval aviation, the Jolly Rogers. The Naval Academy brings that same determination to the football field, setting sail to the nation's capital for one mission: beat Army and secure the Secretary's trophy. Not for self, but for country.
If you're tired of your fence looking like a bad hair day, well, it's time for a fence makeover with Superior Fence and Rail. They'll make your yard the talk of the town with a new fence installed by their expert team.
Your fence is fantastic. My fence is giving all of my neighbors some serious pick and envy. Thanks, Superior Fence and Rail.
So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail for your fence installation project today.
SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Elbow pain, whether acute or chronic, can make it difficult to do normal activities like playing sports, doing household chores, or even sleeping comfortably. Dr. George Varga here, and no one wants to deal with pain without solutions on how to feel better. We've all heard of tennis and golfer's elbow, but there's plenty more that can cause pain, like osteoarthritis, muscle tears, and nerve entrapment. All are treatable at Varga Orthopedics. Getting you back to full health is our mission, and there's a number of different treatment options we can offer. Call us today or visit VargaOrthopedics.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
He drops the throw. Levis fires toward the right corner of the end zone. Incomplete! It is an incomplete pass. Darnell Savage had the coverage on Nick Westbrook-Akine, and the ball's going to go over on downs with 1:11 left to play in the ball game.
It's excited. It's sort of a relief, right? It's the excitement. It's the joy of the work that you put in, and you're finally rewarded for a win. And again, just so happy for the players, the coaches, just hanging in there, battling their tails off. In Tennessee, listen, it's a good football team too. I mean, they do some really good things, and just excited and happy for our guys.
It's Mocama Monday on XL Primetime. Head to the tap room in Fernandina Beach every day that ends with Y and enjoy some Mocama.
All right, so that's your head coach, Doug Peterson, talking about how happy he is for the players. And I totally get it. I have no problem with him saying that. I have no problem with him feeling a little bit of relief because of what this football team's been through. They've only won 2 out of Baker's dozen, and then they finally get to their 3rd win. They got 4 more. We'll see what they can do. But it does bring you to, like all of Duval, trying to figure out whether I want to win. Hell yeah, you want to win. Do you want to win against the Titans? Even more. But then beyond that, are you feeling like you might be losing something that you'll get in the draft? So you guys hit us on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures at 641-1010. Hanging out at Old Red, we got Joe C. here in Nashville. Leon Searcy, our Hurricane Hall of Famer, even though the Hurricanes aren't in the college football playoff, and head coach of XL Primetime, Dave Campo, former Dallas Cowboys head man. So what did you think of that, Leon, and Coach, before we get to the Anton Harrison? Because there had to be a sense of relief, like, holy smokes, we finally got one.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's no question. And, obviously the only thing I didn't agree with was he said that was a really good football team over there. But that's probably what I would have said, too. So I think it's, the exciting part is that you're in this business to win. That's the bottom line. And everybody says, oh, that's a good football team over there. Did they win? No. Everybody's saying that same thing about the SMU deal with, getting in the playoffs. Yeah, they made the championship game. Did they win? No. So, it's exciting, and I feel a heck of a lot better, I guarantee you, talking about it today.
Yeah, I mean, you feel relieved as a coaching staff and as a player. I mean, you're talking about they was on a 5-game loser streak. This is their last time they won on U.S. soil is forever. Mm-hmm. So I mean, that last win was against the Patriots in London. That's the last time they won the game. So it's good to go on the road against the Titans and come away with a victory. I mean, I don't care what anybody says. There's a feel good about going into work Monday. I always say this: the coffee, the donuts, good. You're chumming up in the locker room, you're cracking jokes, all that kind of stuff. You're watching the film, you're seeing yourself look productive, play productive, and play as a team. So I mean,
you're making your wife happier.
Yeah, you come home grumpy and everything, and get put in another room because you all mad because you lost. That stuff factors in, bro.
Yeah, that I could totally get from you guys' perspective, and it's the whole idea of, speaking of mama or the family or whatever, they worry you may not have a gig.
Right.
Coach told us his story about being in Nashville the last time. He knew it was coming down the pike, and I think that's the part. But it really doesn't undo anything as far as the rest of the season. This was another one-score game. They haven't won hardly any one-score games, and they finally were able to do that after a long time. They had, what was it, the total? 7 7 games that they lost by 5 points or less, and finally they get the job done against the hated Tennessee Titans. All right, let's talk Anton Harrison, sir. So what were you thinking about him?
Well, first, I want to give Van Lane a shout out for coming in and, at right tackle on the spur of the moment. I don't know when he was told he was going to be the starter. Maybe that evening, early that morning. He struggled a little bit early on, but he got his stuff together towards the end and played pretty productive. Issue with I don't like calling out people. I'm just I'm old school, and there's a difference. I just know that when I played, there was a difference between being sick and ill. Sick means you could still play. Ill means you're supposed to be in the hospital.
Right.
And I asked the question: did he go to the hospital? They said no. I'm not sure, but I'm sure he didn't go to the hospital. So if you're sick and your team your team needs you, you're 2-10, you're trying to win a game on the road with Tennessee, you can't be sick.
Right.
I'm sorry, you can't be sick. You got to find a way to suck it up, get yourself ready to play a football game. I don't know. You got to take a shot. You got to get in the sauna. You got to get that stuff out of you. You got to take some what's it called? Thermoflu or Pedialyte or whatever. You can't miss games because you're sick, because sick can be healed on game day. Illness means you go to the hospital. And there's a clear difference. So I had a pressing issue with that because yes, I've been sick before, but I couldn't walk downstairs in front of my teammates and my coach and tell me, "Hey coach, I can't play, I'm sick." Because your teammates are going to be looking at you, "Well, Leon, why you not playing?" "Oh, man, I'm sick." You sick. Now, if you ill, that's a difference. If you sick, you find a way to get unsick and play the football game.
Right.
So that's just saying. I don't like calling out people and everything. I know I'm Gran Torino right now. I'm the guy that stay out my.
Fine, but
I'm just saying. I couldn't tell my teammates I couldn't play a game because I was sick. Now, if I'm ill, I'm hospital. Being in the hospital is a different thing, but sick, you find a way to become unsick. Whatever you got to do, you can't leave your teammates hanging. That's all I'm saying.
That's beautiful. I love when Leon says, "Become unsick." And look, I think that's what fans want to hear. Honestly, is that it inside that locker room that does not play well. That's basically what you're saying.
Yeah, it doesn't play well, and it shouldn't be allowed. I mean, the reason why I say it shouldn't be allowed because. You're a 2-10 team going into this game, all right? No one in there is exempt, and no one there should be comfortable, all right? Mm-hmm. Even if you're sick, if you sick, you can't bail on us now, saying you sick. Now, if you're ill, go to the hospital. But if you're sick, there's Pedialyte. There's so many things you can do to become sick. Coach done coach sick.
Well, I had one I said last night. We play in Atlanta in the Super Bowl, and it was one of the years where there was only 1 week between the conference championship and the Super Bowl, and I came down with the flu right after the game, right? And I that whole week I was miserable. I mean, I literally miserable, and I showed up. I would, in my mind, I'm thinking, man, this is going to be one miserable ball game. I was going to be at the ball game no matter what. But anyway, the next morning I wake up, it's like I never had the flu. It's the adrenaline of the game. And I go through the game, no problem. And then that night, I didn't even go to the party afterwards. I crashed and went to sleep. So it's game day. You can't be sick.
Mm-mm.
No, and it really does. It speaks volumes, and I fans, you guys are definitely reacting on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures that you want to know that you have Warriors game day, and it's true. IVs, Pedialyte, whatever, man. Give me something to make me feel better. Cole Van Lanen, at the very least, he's proven he made the roster. I think that was already a little bit of an upset, and now you're looking for guys. And by the way, we'll talk about this a bunch in the offseason. Walker Little gets him a contract. He is trying to prove that he's going to be the left tackle. Anton Harrison has been plugged into the right tackle. You want to go conspiracy on us? Is Anton not happy that he's not being looked at as a left tackle because he's played 2 seasons at right tackle? What do you guys think about that?
Well, I mean, if he elevates his play, there's a right tackle named let me think, Panay Sue, who got $130 million. So I mean, left, right tackle. If you good, you get paid. So I mean, he's got to elevate his play before he's not even breathing that same air. So I don't even know I'll mention those two in the same breath. So if he wants to get paid at the right tackle position, then he's got to elevate his play.
Yeah,
All
and be
right,
honest
so-
with you,
yeah.
and to be honest with you, our guy that was here that went to Kansas City got paid pretty good too. Your right tackle.
Mm-hmm.
It's so funny, Coach. He got an $80 million deal, 60 of it guaranteed, and they planned on playing him at left tackle because that definitely screamed left tackle money. Anyway, that never happened.
Right.
And they obviously have to keep paying him, and yeah, so that probably in the end might have been a nice kick for the right tackle world, like Leon's been living in forever, trying to get a little more dough coming to the right side, a little more respect for right tackles. And yeah, Penei Sewell definitely is up the ante. All right, we did not hit the college football playoff. Let's do that coming up. We are hanging out Old Red Nash-Ville Airport. I love the setup that they got here. They've got acts coming through all the time. The son-in-law Joey, we were walking in through security, and he saw one of the famous artists coming through, and he was just kind of moseying on, and then somebody noticed him, and all of a sudden everyone was trying to pay attention and come up and say hello to him. But you're going to get great music in Nashville, and I loved it. From the rock scene to the country scene, we were all over it. John Bon Jovi's bar, of course, Kid Rock's, Honky Tonk, would love that one. Old Red, of course, and so many other ones. We had a big time, that's for sure. All right, so let's get to the college football playoff because we definitely watched all those games take place. And somehow SMU's left in and Alabama is left out. So let's do that coming up on a Mocama Beer Company Monday. It's XL Primetime.
Cruising with XL Primetime in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
Hey, y'all. Melissa Scobie here. And you know my husband, Josh, could really kick that ball. But when it comes to working around the house, well, not so much. So when I need irrigation, drainage, or seamless gutters, I rely on John Haney's crews at Clearwater. Hit it, guys.
Clearwater Irrigation
And drainage, too.
ClearwaterJacks.com.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. Most goals we set for ourselves have a clear path, like I want to go see the Winter Storms in Vancouver. So you read a couple reviews and talk to some friends and book it. Maybe a couple choices along the way, but overall, it's a clear course to reach your goal. Now, if your goal is to lose 40 or 50 pounds, where's the clear path? You read reviews, you talk with a few friends, try something out, it doesn't work, and you're disappointed. And we've all been there, and it blows. Stop doing that. Do what I did. Reach your goal with a Waco 180 weight loss. It's a clear path to success without disappointment. No guesswork, no trial and error, no medication side effects. I'm proof I lost 40 pounds in 9 weeks on a Waco 180, and Hackers lost 120. You can too. Trust me. It was simple. A word you never hear used in weight loss programs, unless, of course, you're referring to a Waco 180. Choose the simple, clear path to success with a solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 weight loss at awaken180weightloss.com.
We're H-A-P-P-Y, because Happy Honda Days are here. Everything is bigger. Bigger selection, bigger discounts, bigger trade-in values. Honda, quality, value, safety. Don't miss Happy Honda Days, going on now at your local Honda dealer.
Post-game Monday on 1010XL is brought to you by Dandy Foods, makers of quality fresh sandwiches and home of the good stuff.
Joe C. for Hard Rock Bet, and we're into the second half of football season. You've seen how teams are shaping up. If you haven't already, it's a perfect time to try your first bet at Hard Rock Bet. Perfect example. Earlier this season, Florida Better went 16 for 16 picking winners, turned a $15 bet into more than $100,000. Try Hard Rock Bet now and get up to $100 back in bonus bets if your first doesn't win. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Hey, Jaguars fans, as the official whiskey of the NFL, it's not a kickoff without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. And that's why we've built the Crown Royal Rig. An absurdly awesome 18-wheeler delivering the generous spirit to stadiums and tailgates across the country. Follow the Royal Rig on its journey from city to city, bringing together local cuisine, NFL legends, and the opportunity to pack a purple bag for charity and win tickets to Super Bowl 59. Visit crownroyal.com for rules and more, and please drink responsibly.
Prosser here for Lifetime Flooring. You've heard us rave about Lifetime Enclosures. Now let's talk about Lifetime Flooring. I can tell you firsthand, the product, services, best in Jacksonville. As you know, updating your floors is one of the most dramatic changes you can make to your home. Call the experts at Lifetime Flooring now and ask about their buy one room, get one room free promotion through Christmas. 0% financing, available to meet any budget. Visit their beautiful showroom just off Highway. And as always, tell them Prosser sent you.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On December 9, 2018, NFL quarterback Tom Brady breaks Peyton Manning's record for most touchdown passes in NFL history, recording 582.
Arrested, got traffic tickets, DUI, license problems, gun charges, drug charges. If you've been charged with any crime, call me, criminal defense attorney Malcolm Anthony, at 285-4LAW. That's 285-4LAW.
Find Florida Gators basketball on 1010XL. Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson, the official window and door replacement partner of the Florida Gators. And by Farrah and Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
O'Reilly. Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Come on, admit it. Almost everyone you know seems to be playing pickleball now, right? So whether you just want to learn how to play or you're ready to show off your elite pickleball skills, the Y is the place for you. Visit our brand new McGuire Family Pickleball Center at the Brown Family YMCA in Ponte Vedra Beach. 5 top quality outdoor courts and 3 amazing indoor courts where you can learn about dinks, dill ball, falafel, the kitchen, and more pickleball slang at the Y.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Jaguars right tackle Anton Harrison missed Sunday's game against the Titans with an illness. Harrison was a surprise inactive on Sunday, forcing Cole Van Lanen into start at right tackle. Jaguars head coach Doug Peterson on the performance of Van Lanen in the place of Anton Harrison.
For someone that woke up thinking he was going to be a backup to starting, I thought he played really well today. We'll take a look at the tape, obviously, make some corrections, but I thought he played physical. He played good for being, a backup to a starter within a matter of, hours.
Doug Peterson on Sunday. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farrah and Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's Mocama Monday on XL Primetime. Head to the tap room in Fernandina Beach every day that ends with Y and enjoy some Mocama.
We love Mocama, that's for sure. Mocama.com. You can check out their great story. 2 tap rooms up in Fernandina Beach. The big old tap room. It's an old 50s car dealership right there on South 8th Street as you're entering the historic district, and then the Wildlight location. Definitely good stuff from Mocama. You can check them out at Total and ABC. Pick them up off the shelves. So, hanging out here in Nashville, Joe C., along with our Hurricane Hall of Famer, Big Searcy, our head coach, Dave Campo, back at HQ. Matty with a couple of days off doing USA Today sports work, so we will get back with him. But the college football playoff, he definitely is zeroed in on that, just like the rest of the college football world. And look, in our neck of the woods, the 2 main talking points, guys, were is Alabama going to hang on and stay in? Miami, you blew it. Now SMU has a chance. If they can win that ACC title, they obviously have a chance to play on. But if they didn't, they might be left out. No, they were left in, and Clemson gets in, basically the last 2 seeds. So let's start there, because we start looking at the whole college football playoff. Reaction, Searcy, coming out of this weekend, just as far as what you saw, and do you agree with SMU being one of 12?
Well, with the AC, listen, SMU had one job. They had one job. All they had to do was beat Clemson and give us maybe an outside chance of getting in against a 9-3 Alabama team. That, by the way, quite frankly, because of Miami's losses down the stretch, I thought they were more deserving than Miami to go to the college football playoffs. Even though I pouted and said all these different type of things, I kind of felt like if Miami had you win, You win the game, you win. They went 10-2. Unfortunately, they wasted Cam Ward, who should have been in the championship game, playing for the championship. But that being said, Clemson wins. I think SMU gets in. Alabama, I mean, they're the first out. I mean, but listen, you win that game against Oklahoma, like you were supposed to. You were 2-touchdown favorite. We're not even having this conversation. You know, you're looking at a 10-2, and you're looking at a SMU team that's 11-2, and then by the brand alone, Alabama will get in. But I think the committee kept it clean by not letting Alabama in and not punishing SMU for playing in the conference championship.
And it's so funny, Coach, because, you know, you go through, and Oklahoma, definitely, that was one that absolutely, if you're going to get on Kalen DeBoer, you're going to get on the Alabama team themselves, Jalen Milroe for having a lousy game. That's the one you'll point to. But don't forget, Diego! I love him. Vanderbilt, they still want to take credit. The Commodores just rolling down Broadway, taking that goalpost to, the Cumberland River after beating and upsetting Alabama. They want to take credit for it. There's reasons, Coach, that 3 or 4 teams shouldn't be in. You just now have to figure out what you're going to use as criteria to let them in. You follow me?
Yeah, I think they'll you know, this is a learning experience for the entire committee. And I thought Nick Saban made a good point when he said that if they're going to take strength of schedule into consideration, which I think they did some, because you know, the Oklahoma game to me and the Vanderbilt game, you know, they had good strength of schedule and they beat some good teams, but they also lost to some good teams. And so, or not so good teams, let me put it that way. So I think he had a good point when he said, if that's the case, if they think that, you know, Alabama's better than, because of strength of schedule, then they should have been ranked better than SMU, but they weren't. So they're going to have to take a look at some things. I'm not for the conference champions automatically being in, because the problem with that is obviously you could have a team with 4 losses in there and a team 11-1 not in there. So I think they've got to tweak it a little bit, but I think overall, I think we got a pretty good group, and I think they made the right decision with SMU.
Now, Joe, this is why I hope that this doesn't deter, because, you know, we get all excited when the start of the season, college football season, because we got week 0 and you got big teams playing against each other. The Georgia versus Clemson, Alabama always plays somebody big. What I don't want is, because I don't want to deter from those games. Because you look at a team like SMU, the first time in the ACC. I mean, you're talking about layups, back and forth layups. Even Miami had layups. I mean, Florida looks like a decent win now, and Louisville's okay as a win, and Duke's okay as a win. But I mean, what I don't want to deter is early on in the season when you have those big games, and coaches look at those games now like, maybe we need to keep them off this schedule, because, you know, somewhere down the road, this game might bite us. That's what I don't want. I don't want that. I don't want it to deter the big games that are going to be played in week 0 and in week 1.
Coach?
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Yeah. And I think, you know, a perfect example is the only thing that I give Boise credit for is the fact that they went toe-to-toe with Oregon. But you don't know if Oregon was in the same frame of mind playing against Boise than they are when they played Ohio State. You know, I mean, they have to tweak around there to make sure. And I could see people saying, oh, well, you know, our non-conference games, we want them to be layups because, you know, why? But that hurts the fans. So it's not a perfect system, but I think we have a pretty good group of 12.
You have to combine, and let's make this a 10-10 take, because they're getting closer to the National Football League. We know that, but they still got to maintain some of the core of college football tradition.
Now, Joe C's 10-10 take. Slow smoked and served up by Sonny's Barbecue. Local pitmaster since '68.
So, yeah, it is looking more and more like what the NFL does is what college football wants to be. But if we talk and we throw darts at the first 4 conference champs or the highest ranked conference champs are going to have automatic bids, you have to accept it because it's the exact same thing in the NFL. They have divisions, and you may have a lousy record or around 500 record, but you won that division. Therefore, you're going to get in over maybe, say, let's just say there are 3 wild card picks in the AFC, and the 4th one has more wins than one of the division champions, maybe inside the AFC South when it's all said and done. You can't let them in. It's just the way it is. So you got to accept the formula, the format, and say, okay, division champions, we're rewarding you. Conference champions, we're rewarding you. But back to you guys' point, and let's make this the 10-10 take, because after this year and next, they easily can change this. Would you change it, Leon and Coach, and say, hey, you're going to get an automatic bid, but you're not guaranteed that you're going to, the highest 4 conference champions are going to get that first week off and get that automatic. In other words, you make it into the postseason, you're one of 12, but you're not guaranteed a week off as a conference champion.
No, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, I know they're trying to style it like the NFL, like you said, the NFL. I mean, I've seen teams that go sub 500.
Yeah,
get
7 and 9.
Yeah, I've seen 7 and 9 teams win their division, and then they're hosting a team that comes in there, they're 11 and 5. You know, and hey, if they're trying to simulate what the NFL is, I say keep it the same way. So the conference champion, the conference winner means a lot. I mean, you look at a team like Clemson. Now they didn't get a 4 seed. I was a little concerned about giving them a 4 seed, but they went from what? They were ranked 16th when they beat SMU. They beat them on the last-second field goal, and you know they get in. I was surprised they didn't give Clemson because that has the name. I'm surprised they didn't give them a 4 seed, but they gave it to Arizona State. So I'm fine with it. I'm good with it.
Yeah, I just think a team like Boise, for example, should have to play the way in. I don't like the NFL system, to be perfectly honest with you. I think the best teams should be the teams that get the buys and you know.
So,
but it's all subjective.
Would you eliminate division champs in the NFL?
I don't necessarily think that that's the best way to do it. That's just me. But you know, again, I think it makes the division games extremely important since they're rival games. That's a plus. But you know,
and that's why I believe that's how you maintain the regular season,
right?
Because everyone says this right now is going to ultimately hurt the regular season. Well, we saw down the stretch a lot more fan bases were in because there's obviously more spots that you can play for. So it's not necessarily killing the regular season, but the whole idea that every single Saturday you could be eliminated, yeah, that's actually been killed because look at what Georgia's been through. Georgia, the losses that they suffered, you thought they were going to be out. Yet they're not Bulldogs. They're Cats, man. They got 9 lives because they just keep staying alive, and they did it against Texas this go-around. But here's the thing, fellas. When we take a look at it, Penn State, okay? Penn State gets worked by the 2 biggest games by the 2 teams that they played in their biggest games. At home against Ohio State and then in this Big Ten championship game. Yet, they find themselves in the 6th spot. Boise State, meanwhile, to Coach's point, they're considered one of the top 3 teams in America to have a conference championship run that they were on in the Mountain West, and somehow or another that translates to them being the 3rd overall seed. I got a huge problem with that. And so now let's just say Penn State plays SMU. They win that game. Take a look at their path after that. The fact that they would meet a Boise State team. Take a look at Notre Dame and Indiana. At least Notre Dame, if they win over Indiana, they got to face Georgia next. So that's one of the big problems I have, and I can pretty much guarantee they're going to fix that. They ain't going to let that ride. Would you agree with that, Leon? Because that's BS.
Well, yeah, it is a little BS. I mean, because just like the NFL and college football, all leagues aren't created equal. I mean, if you look in the NFL, the AFC West and the NFC North, it could be your Big Ten and your SEC because, you know, they're slaying dragons amongst each other, you know, that kind of. So, I mean, this year in particular. So I mean, in some aspects, I mean, I think the conference should matter, but maybe I could be persuaded that the top teams in each division should get the rankings based upon the merit of their record and not necessarily if they win their conference or not.
Right. And Boise State is getting, what's the best way to put this? Boise State is getting a big kiss from this first college football playoff bracketing because they're penalizing the other ones that won an ACC in the case of Clemson. And they're like, yeah, you won the championship in your conference, but you're still not better than what we see among these other squads. You go to, 12th in the land, and you get to play Texas first, and then we'll knock you out of there very likely. And then the other one is SMU. You had a 2-loss season. You lost in your conference championship. We're going to reward you for getting there, but we're also going to penalize you for not winning it. And you could easily argue that they shouldn't have been in it at all, but I don't mind that. And the thing that we are obviously seeing is that they still have to represent the nation with teams spread all over the regions. That's just the way it is for the here and now until they change that part of it.
So you're saying that they're treating the ACC like the Mountain West is what you're saying?
Worse.
Yes.
Worse. You're absolutely right. Worse.
And that's how it went down, which is just nuts. But that's for Boise to be in a killer seat, and then at the same time, if you want to look at them and still say, hey, they're a group of 5, we don't take them seriously, then Penn State actually ends up in a major good spot, even though they play and they'll take on the Mustangs to start. Let's just say they beat them. If it's a 6-11, then they get to play Boise, and who knows that side of the bracket, how it all plays out. It's nuts. It really is.
Yeah, it is.
All right, so let's get into the 3 o'clock hour. Quarterback Whisperer will be sliding in. We'll talk a little bit about these games. Carson Beck got hurt. You should have seen, and I know you guys saw it, but everybody else out there on X, oh my gosh, once Carson Beck got hurt, they're like, well, wait a minute. Why does Georgia get in with a hurt quarterback? Because Florida State didn't get in last year with a hurt quarterback. So you can just imagine all the shots that were being taken on social. So we'll get into all that coming up. XL Primetime special broadcast, Nash-Ville Old Red at the airport as I hang out here in the Nash. Big Leon Searcy and Coach Campo hanging out at 1010 XL. And we'll have Denny Thompson coming up in just a bit on a Mocama Beer Company Monday.
Learn the ins and outs and ups and downs of the man under center.
Don't just watch the position, learn the position.
Friday mornings on The Drill. Denny Thompson is
the quarterback whisperer.
Brought to you by Tyson Sound and Security and George Moore Chevrolet on 1010 XL.
Joe Seifer, Preferred Roofing, Preferred Builders. Love the company first and foremost. Great people. That's the number one thing for me. And I'm all about the relationship business. You want to work with people that you like and you trust. And that's what they're all about in this community for a long time. We're talking decades. And the quality is there. And they want to make sure they give you a fair price and give you a great job. So you can count on both of them to do that for you. PreferredRoofingJacks.com. You can log on. You can check them out. And if you need roof replacement, go check out Preferred Roofing. Remodels, additions, brand new homes, you can go that route as well. Check out preferredbuilders.com.
Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
One wrong click on a phishing email can cost your business everything. Data loss, lawsuits, and shattered trust. DoubleCheck Cybersecurity offers AI-powered solutions to stop threats before they happen. Visit doublecheck.com today.
Hey, sports fans, Gibby here, and we are back to Monday Night Football tonight after another profitable betting weekend on MyBookie. If you didn't hit, well, you have the Cincinnati Bengals traveling to Dallas as 5.5-point favorites on Monday Night Football. We'll take that spread all day as the Bengals are actually good, and they are in a must-win scenario to stay in the playoff hunt. A high point total in this one with a 49.5-point over-under. Take a hard look at a parlay bet with the Bengals covering the 5.5 points and the under 49.5. Guys, MyBookie has the best sign-up bonus in the industry for Florida bettors. Our listeners can just sign up and use the promo code 1010XL to claim a bonus that doubles your money on your very first deposit up to $1,000. That's promo code 1010XL to claim your double deposit bonus from Monday Night Football. Bet anywhere, anytime, and make your season a winning season with MyBookie.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
This is Hayes Carline for SkyLife Elite. Are you tired of canceled flights, unruly passengers, and layovers? Call my friends at SkyLife Elite. Consider using private charter flights for your next adventure. Yes, you can afford it. Make your own schedule. Fly direct. Drive your car to Craig Airport and get directly on the plane. SkyLife Elite can make that happen. Call 490-9332, go to flyskylife.com, and find them on social media. Fly SkyLife Elite, North Florida's premier private air charter.
When you head out for a night with friends or going to the big game, don't forget the best game plan to win the night is to designate a driver and guarantee a safe ride home. Hydrating between buds is the best play you can make. Bud Light, reminding all to drink wiser.
If you're buying gifts for family and friends, check out the 1010XL Holiday Gift Guide with ideas from
St. Nicholas Gun and Range,
FOCO, Fans Only,
and the spa at Marriott Sawgrass.
Start shopping and saving at 1010XL.com.
If you're tired of your fence looking like a bad hair day, well, it's time for a fence makeover with Superior Fence and Rail. They'll make your yard the talk of the town with a new fence installed by their expert team.
Your fence is fantastic.
My fence is giving all of my neighbors some serious pick and envy. Thanks, Superior Fence and Rail.
So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail for your fence installation project today.
SuperiorFenceandRail.com. Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Value or flavor? Price or taste? Why choose when you can get both? With everyday deals at Sonny's. Right now, you can get the pork big deal for $10, the pork and rib combo for $12, and all you can eat ribs for just $19.99. Yep, you heard right. All your favorites are now available all day, every day. And that's why it's always Sonny's here. Sonny's Barbecue. Local pitmasters since '68.
When my wrist pain was acting up and I needed help, I took Dan Hickens' advice and headed over to see the experts at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. This is Stuart Moore with the PGA Tour. I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. Whenever you have a need, they took great care of me. They'll take great care of you.
This is Dr. Kevin Murphy. The next time you need orthopedic care, you can rely on our team at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Homeowners, listen up. Did you know that 9 out of 10 borrowers get a better deal by calling Loan Pronto? Hey, it's Prosser here, and the Fed has dropped the rates again. The election is over, and Loan Pronto has APRs in the low 5s for refis, debt consolidation, and purchase loans. If your current mortgage rate is over 6%, or if you're in the process with another lender, don't settle. Call Loan Pronto now for a second opinion. Lock a lower rate today and close in as little as 2 weeks, often with no appraisal. And if you act now, you won't make your first payment till February. This 5-minute call saves homeowners an average of $5,000, lower rates and lower fees. So get your Loan Pronto rate quote instantly with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. It's Loan Pronto. Call them at 904-999-1508, or you can visit loanpronto.com. That's Loan Pronto at 904-999-1508, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
This is Molly McDonald with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update, brought to you by First Coast Honda Dealers. The Miami Hurricanes may have missed out on the 12-team college football playoffs. However, they'll be headed to the Pop-Tart Bowl in Orlando to take on the Iowa State Cyclones. December 28th, Hurricanes head coach Mario Cristobal shared his excitement and how grateful he is for the opportunity to play in this bowl game.
Florida Citrus Sports for the incredible opportunity to play an excellent football team and culture. clash of 2 top 20 teams. And again, just a lot of respect for Coach Campbell and his team, and certainly the opportunity to compete and play and give our guys an opportunity to do something that hasn't been done in Miami in a long, long time.
Hurricanes and Cyclones in Orlando at the Pop-Tart Bowl December 28th. Kickoff at 3:30. It's 79 degrees at 3 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the quarterback whisperer, Denny Thompson.
Okay, bring it in.
Brought to you by Tyson Sound and Security, security and automation experts, and George Moore Chevrolet.
1, 2, 3. He's our dude, Denny Thompson, in the house. We talk quarterbacks, we talk college and pro football. That's basically what it's all about. It just surrounds the quarterback position, and then we delve off into different areas. We are hanging out here at Old Red Airport, Concourse C. We've seen a few Jag fans that have come through, and they love it. They're shouting Duval because this team finally got a win. It's been a long time. They finally got back in the win column. Third of the season. I know that ain't nearly what you guys were hoping for, but we'll get back to the Jags, probably bring some stuff up with Denny here, and then Big Searcy and Coach Campo are hanging out there, so we'll just kind of bounce back and forth. Denny, how you doing, bud?
I'm good, man. How you doing? I've been at that bar you're at many times.
Oh, it's
right
so
there
good.
in the airport. It's a great airport.
Yeah, this is, I'm telling you something, and I know you've been all over the place here recently, but this airport is just bursting at the seams. I mean, they got so much stuff inside here, a little Galleria Mall, along with all the good watering holes and everything like that. So it's definitely, Nash-Ville they got a lot going on, that's for sure. All right, so let's go back to, first off, Carson Beck's injury Saturday afternoon. It did not look good right before the half, so at least let fans know where he's at and the health and all that.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously can't get too deep into that. He actual laws behind that for me, actually, anyway. So, I will say this, that, it's unfortunate for sure, and there's still a process going on. There's still, things happening to determine what this looks like and what it actually is. But, at the very, very least, I mean, it's certainly an unfortunate and scary situation for somebody who, came back and I feel like did things the right way from a developmental perspective. With the player and a coach sitting right next to me, I hope they would agree. You go back, you get more snaps, you get the pressure of being a quarterback of the number one team in the country, and you play through a year that, maybe didn't go the way you thought. I think that's valuable snaps. I think that's stuff that translates to the NFL. And so for it to end at the point, or not necessarily end, to get injured at halfway through the game that you decided to come back in just doesn't seem right. It was a year ago in that game when they lost that he called me from the locker room, was like, no, I got to win this game. And so to go down at halftime of that game, just, it hurts. It hurts. So, we'll get more information in the coming days, but for right now, just, get a little bit of rest and let's see where this goes.
Denny, I remember telling you last week that the last thing Texas wanted to see was Georgia.
Yep.
And I thought it was a good game. I mean, were you surprised that Texas, even though they lost, were you surprised that Texas put up a fist fight against Georgia? Because they got blown the doors out at home.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised, but I also sitting at that game, as somebody pulling for Georgia was never really threatened in that game. Mm-hmm. It didn't feel like it felt like Georgia missed a couple of opportunities. They had some drops early in the game. But it felt like their defense was playing fast, playing physical, kind of the defense that, when they're playing that way, they're going to come through, they're going to force turnovers, and they did. But, yeah, I mean, I think Texas is a great program. I think they're catching a lot for the lack of quality wins. But, listen, that's a good football team, man. There's a lot of NFL players on that team. And I think Sark's doing, obviously, an incredible job. It's just Kirby's just got – that team's got a switch, man. They just have a switch that – I don't know, man. You guys had it at Miami. I'm sure, Coach, you've been involved with a bunch of programs like that. It's just a switch that almost is unfair. It's like when they decide that it's enough, it's enough. There ain't nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, I see the same thing. I mean, it's kind of like Kansas City, right now in the NFL. The good teams just find a way in the big games now.
Yep.
They may lose a game here or there, but in the big games, they have a way of coming back. Here's my question for you on that situation. We found it very difficult in the NFL to beat somebody 3 times in a game, and we've lost in the playoffs to a team that we beat twice during the season. Do you feel, just looking at the 2 teams, you've seen enough of those guys, you know a lot of the players and those guys, do you see that as being any kind of a factor?
Sorry, Leon. Sorry, man. You know where I'm going with this. The 99 team. I think it's a very similar situation in that I just think there's some teams that match up good.
Yeah.
They match up well. Like, Georgia's got a couple weaknesses, or they've shown a couple weaknesses, but Texas isn't that team that's what they do, that exploits those weaknesses. And I think that they just complement. I think Georgia's defense just matches up well with Texas personnel. I think if they met again, I think Georgia would win that game again.
Yeah. Now, Denny, I love the 12-team bracket. Absolutely love the 12-team bracket. And I'm looking at the bracket, and something tells me that we're probably going to get the same 4 teams that we're anticipating in the Final Four. I mean, is that good for football? I mean, or should there be a couple of Cinderellas some way to kind of squeak in there?
I'm going to tell you, I think this is so much better than I even anticipated.
Mm-hmm.
I have had the best time with college football this year. It's exciting. People told me that the regular season wouldn't mean as much. Man, I went to regular season games that felt bigger than any regular season game I've ever been to in my life this year.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's good all the way around. I'm a little bit of a football junkie like you guys are, so more football for me. I'm going to sign up for that.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this. I mean, we've had this conversation at the NFL level. We used to have this conversation at the college level. We don't anymore, though. It's a lot of games.
Mm-hmm.
You're asking these guys, and some of these guys are 18 years old. You're asking these guys to play 15 football games, and our job is to talk about the games, right? And so we talk about, we want the big games. We want Georgia, Notre Dame. We don't want Georgia Southern, whatever it is, right? But man, those games add up. And you're 18 years old and you're still developing and you're growing. You're 19 years old, man. 15 games at that level, that's a lot of football games.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to see injuries go up, without question.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem with the NFL. The more games you get, the more injury you get. Here's a question for you. Watching Oregon play.
Yeah.
Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah.
In your mind, is there a difference in preparing a left-handed quarterback as compared to a right-handed
That's a great question. Man, that's a great question. That would be a better question for you.
I have an answer as far as playing against them, but I'm just curious as far as technique. Is there a difference?
Yeah, no, it's still basic biomechanics. The ball does spin differently, for sure. But Dylan specifically, I saw him throw at the Manning Academy, and he's kind of like, Penix.
Yeah.
The ball just snaps out of his hands. And he's got such a high rotation that I don't even think the whole left-handed thing in any way plays with him. But biomechanically, I mean, it's still the same sequencing. It's still all that kind of stuff. I think sometimes offensively, guys can be a little bit freaked out by that. You get comfortable running glance this way, or you get comfortable and all of a sudden now that's flipped, which I would imagine. Is that similar for a defense?
Well, it's kind of the same thing in my mind between a team that sometimes puts their defensive ends on different spots and their different hand is down.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Some guys are used to seeing the play coming from the right, and they want to stay on the right instead of, the other way around.
I also think there's the added element. You block for a left-handed quarterback,
I did,
right?
yeah.
So I think there's also the added element of defensively, like, I don't know. Offensively, you're watching film of defenses against right-handed quarterbacks. Right, just like you guys are watching right-handed. There's an awkwardness about that I think until, you get deep into the season and learn about it, it probably is a little different. Like in Leon's case, I mean, he's protecting the blind side of the left-handed quarterback. That guy's not used to rushing that side probably in a lot of cases. So I do think there's differences, but it's probably Probably goes much deeper than what we all need to talk about on a radio show,
Well,
right?
the one thing that we always did, our linebackers especially, and just talking about it, defending a left-handed quarterback, our linebackers were taught, even the secondary, that when you're keying, if you can see, when the arm starts up, that's where the ball's going. Right-handed quarterback,
when he pulls the pin off.
His elbow, wherever his elbow's going, that's where the ball going. He may be looking there, but his when that elbow comes up, that's where the ball's going. With a left-handed quarterback, it doesn't happen that way. For some reason, left-handed quarterbacks, the elbow goes this way, and the ball goes over there.
Well, there's an open side, too, and we're getting deep into this. Sorry, Joe, but you're not here, so me and Coach Campo have been wanting to do this for a minute anyway. There's an open side to this. Like, if I'm right-handed, my vision is great to the right. And so sometimes defensively, you may be able to trick me to the left, and you have to flip that now as a defensive coordinator as well. Correct. It's super interesting, but I think Oregon – I think that coach has done an absolutely incredible job, and that's, Kirby told me about this guy while he was recruiting Carson and said, this is the next superstar, and he is. And I think they're a super balanced, well-coached team. They're going to be really, really hard to beat.
Very fast team.
Very.
Too. I mean, they remind me of the old Miami teams back in the day. I mean,
strong up front with the defensive line. I know probably not a lot of people in this area have watched a lot of them, but they can get home with four if they need to. They've got some great blitz packages. He's a defensive guy. And then they've just got, playmakers offensively. Yeah. And then you look at, his tree now with Dillingham and what he's doing at Arizona State, and that may be the story of the year, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. It's so funny, fellas. If you add up, and Coach and Leon know I've been manning the landing ship for a while. I love that guy and wanted to try and pry him away if things didn't go well in Gainesville. And they just look at me like you're an idiot. He's not going to leave, and it's probably true. But he is SEC through and through with the guys he came up under. And then you take a 34-year-old Kenny Dillingham. You take what Rhett Lashley's actually done at SMU, even though they dang sure should have won that game the other night, but they didn't. Anyway, there's these hot young guys, not all of them offense, because Lanning definitely didn't land on that side of the ball. But, bro, there's a lot of young, exciting coaches that are putting some good product on the field.
Yeah, and today being the official first day of the portal, I can tell you guys, like, last week was signing day. Today's the portal.
Yeah.
The portal's king. My phone has not stopped since, 5 o'clock this morning.
It's crazy.
It's not even comparable anymore. Recruiting is far secondary to portal day.
And I'm not crazy about that, fellas. I really am not. As a matter of fact, we may need to bring that back up here in just a second. But I want you guys to hear this real quick, and then all three react to it, and then we'll definitely get into the portal and maybe a little NFL before Denny gets out of here. But listen to Kirby after the game, and he's selling something he doesn't need to sell, but he felt like he needed to sell because this college football playoff, they want to try and create this, we love all of our ball everywhere, every region, but we all know where the best football is being played, so Kirby needed to stand up for it.
So I know I don't need the College Football Playoff Committee or any person to tell me what the SEC's like. I was born and raised in this, and I know how good it is. I know how physical it is. I know how hard it is to play in this league week in and week out. It's tough and physical. Now, everybody always wants a piece, and everybody wants some of the SEC because they talk about it, and they don't play in it year-round. So it's different when it comes bowl season, and it's a one-game matchup. But if anybody want an invitation, they can come play in this league. It's tough.
Little SEC love there, Leon.
Yeah.
Damn right.
Yeah. I mean, listen, the house they build is strong, and and many have come in and many have been bounced out. I mean, if you look at the teams in the SEC, even the big dogs of the SEC, they've gone on the road and they've struggled, they've lost. I mean, he's just letting the world know that we're still king.
I think SEC football can stake claim to, and I would love to see the numbers to back this up. It's the hardest sport to play on the road of anything. Like I'll put basketball, baseball, all the rest of football, NFL, college, on the road in the SEC is the hardest thing to do in team sports, in my opinion.
Yeah, I look at it the same way. I think it's tradition that started even when I was in high school in Connecticut and I came down and watched teams in South Carolina play, the South bred the best football players, the most tradition. The excitement of football started with the SEC in the South. And the SEC is basically a South team. Now, all of a sudden, you had Texas. There were 117 kids playing 7-on-7 in 120-degree weather at Texas A&M in playoffs. It's just the South, for some reason, has that tradition. You watch them, you go to the stadiums and all that. It's crazy.
Yeah, we've all traveled all over and been to football games, right? And I think the biggest thing, I was telling somebody this year, is you go to anywhere you go to a football game, it's cool. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. But in the South, when the fans show up, they are a part of that football game.
Absolutely.
They absolutely believe they can affect the football game, and they come to actually play. That doesn't happen everywhere else.
And that crowd, bro, which I know you know, in Athens, holy smokes. And then you add, at least inside the Benz, inside Mercedes-Benz Stadium up in Atlanta, it wasn't all Georgia. Texas did show up, but there's just, you're right.
Well, I think it's everywhere. I think you go to Florida, right?
Tennessee.
You go to LSU, Tennessee.
Yes.
When we went out to Alabama for that Georgia game, I still have never experienced anything like that. There's a bite to those fan bases. It's not just bark, and it's super interesting.
Yeah, it's awesome. All right, we'll keep it going. Let's get the transfer portal talk going a little bit. That you want to talk about something that depresses me a little bit is the player movement, and I know it ain't bad for the player. They definitely deserve it, but it is. I can't keep up. So let's at least tell the story. Denny said his phone was busy at 5 a.m. this morning. We'll talk transfer portal, Louisville, NFL with the Jags winning over the Titans before Denny is out. It's a Mocama Beer Company Monday. I'm hanging out at Old Red at the Nash-Ville Airport with good music behind me and the fellas back at 10:10.
Get insight from the Jags head coach.
I believe that our goals are still in front of us.
Doug Peterson joins the Frangie Show Fridays at 4:05. Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson, Custom Windows and Doors. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars on 1010XL.
Joe C. for Roland Reese Plumbing. And look, I made fun of Uncle Fred last week, who might have come in and caused a problem to your plumbing. And that's why I saw so many Roland Reese Plumbing trucks that were out on, we're talking all parts of the First Coast, taking care of holiday weekend struggles. Well, dang, if I might have messed something up at Highland and Joey's place, I'm not taking 100% credit for that. But if I needed a plumber, I might have had to get Roland Reese to come up here to Nash Vegas to take care of it. But they can definitely do it for you. 24/7 emergency service. They're tried and true, quarter century more of experience dealing with all those problems at Duval. Just remember, if you have a leak and can't wait a week, you got to call Roland Reese Plumbing.
Injured in an accident? Have mounting medical bills? Can't work? Don't worry. Zach's got your back. I'm Zach Von Rowan of Von Rowan Law. I will fight for the compensation that you deserve. Set up your free consultation at zachsgotyourback.com.
To get this thing unwrapped here.
Praz, what in the world are you doing working on your Duval?
That's right, man. I really identify with Duval.
You live in St. John's County, knucklehead.
I mean the Duval sub, the Daily Stash Duval. Turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheeses. Lettuce, tomato, crispy and fresh, like me. I'm sure there's a Daily Stash sub that sums you up.
The boss.
Because, of course.
Oven roasted beef, Munster cheese, roasted mushrooms, caramelized onions. It's the boss of all subs. Only available for me.
That's just not true.
What do you mean? I walked in the other day, screamed, "You know it!" and said, "A boss for a boss."
Well, no matter who you are, there is a Daily Stash sandwich or sub for you.
Go find yours. They may even make you a boss.
I'm sure they will, because it is Daily Stash.
Where more is better.
And you got that right.
Kuhn Flowers invites you to join their Spread the Joy gift drive, supporting families here in Florida impacted by the recent hurricanes. They're accepting new and unwrapped toys, gifts, or monetary donations. Visit KuhnFlowers.com to find out more.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
It's the end of the year sale with Universal Roof and Contracting. Get 15% off all roof repairs and replacements, plus a $250 gift card for holiday shopping. With financing options as low as $150 a month, protecting your home's never been easier. Schedule your free roof inspection today. Call 855-ROOF-HELP, and this offer expires December 31st. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com. Get ready to celebrate December with Best Bet. We're giving away an incredible $660,000 in cash and prizes. Kickstart your holiday fun in Jacksonville with amazing promotions like the 12 Days of Christmas High Hands and $500 High Hand Fridays. At Best Bet Orange Park and St. Augustine, don't miss out on thrilling tournaments and $300 every 15 minutes table game giveaways. For all the details, head over to bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
This is Walker Little of your Jacksonville Jaguars for Kingfish Pest Control. I've been a Kingfish customer for a while now and can confirm that their service is incredible. Not only do they protect my family from pests, Kingfish's office staff is the friendliest around. They even email me a photo of the tech before arriving at my home. Kingfish Pest Control is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Be sure to enter their Swat That Kick sweepstakes for free pest control for 3 years. Go to kingfishpest.com and tell them Walker Little sent you.
Attention men and women. If you would like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry and receive a free hair and scalp examination and get 2 weeks of laser treatments for free. Call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. HairForMe.com.
He used to cover the Jags. Now he's a CBS Sports senior NFL writer.
Well, I believe he's got everybody's attention.
He's Pete Prisco. Friday afternoons on The Frangie Show. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles on 1010XL.
I'm Clayton Bromberg, the president of Underwoods. If you're looking for jewelry this holiday season, we have what you want at Underwoods, and we carry the hottest and best names you'll find anywhere in North Florida. The biggest name in designer jewelry is David Yurman, and his looks are more popular today than they were years ago when Underwoods introduced this designer to Jacksonville. And we carry David Yurman not just in ladies' jewelry, but also in timepieces in his extensive collection of men's jewelry. If it's a watch you're looking for, we carry Rolex and other watches considered to be the best in their price points. We also carry extensive collections of the jewelry we import directly from Italy and Spain that are always popular for their quality, style, and value. So if you want the hottest and most popular jewelry and want to be waited on by the most professional jewelry staff in the business, stop by Underwoods.
Underwoods, where customers are served with quality and respect. In San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra. Underwood Jewelers.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
An unreal talent. And there he goes. Genty into the clear blue. Touchdown!
It's Mocama Monday on XL Primetime. Head to the tap room in Fernandina Beach every day that ends with Y and enjoy some Mocama.
Is he the Heisman winner? We're talking about a kid that was born in Duval. That's right, Ashton Genty. He starred on that blue turf, but he was born in Jacksonville. Military brat, moved all over the place. And, man, he moved all over the place when it came to the football field. I just want to throw some numbers at you guys. And, I mean, I think this does qualify as some saucies, but 100 teams had fewer rushing yards than Ashton Genty this year. That is just incredible.
Saucy nugs.
And when you think about it, the total, 2,497 yards rushing, 30 total touchdowns, 13 100-yard games, 6 200-yard games. He was impressive. Now, I know we got the quarterback whisperer in here for one more segment, but I had to bring that up. And I think most people are talking about the Heisman coming down to Travis Hunter or Ashton Jeanty. This would be the first time in a long time that we haven't had a quarterback, at the very least, lead the Heisman talk. Would you agree, Denny?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of what we were talking about at the break. I mean, it's just the game's changing. The game's changing in a lot of different ways. I would be in favor. I don't know about you guys, but can we not since we've expanded the playoffs, can we not push the Heisman back a little bit?
Yeah.
Because I think if Ashton Jeanty's if he goes off, how do you not give him the Heisman?
Yeah.
You don't have an excuse anymore about competition. So I would love to see them adjust some of the scheduling of a lot of these things around this new playoff system.
Yeah, and the guys that are considered the contenders are not even in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
The Travis Hunter and Cam Ward. I mean, so he will have center stage.
That's right.
In the playoffs to showcase even more of his talent. So they'll be more than likely would give it to him, after the playoffs.
He'd win it or lose it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I texted Matt after watching the Boise game, and I said, man, that kid looks like Barry Sanders to me.
Really?
I mean, he can jump cut. He can, he's physical. He's a short guy, but he's pretty darn physical, 215, 18 pounds, whatever he is. He's impressed me. I know that.
Yeah, he's put together, and it will come down to, do you want to acknowledge history? Because he came close to Barry Sanders' record, which is still just eye-popping when you think about what Barry did at Oklahoma State back in the day. And then you look at a two-way star in Travis Hunter. Those are the two main vote getters, and we'll find out. I put my Heisman vote in earlier today, and I was torn. I can just tell you that, fellas. That's for sure. All right, so transfer portal, Denny. Honestly, and I don't think any of us would argue this, the transfer portal is the main, would you call it the main talent acquisition business in college football now, and by how much compared to recruiting?
Yeah, I think it's largely looked at now as the way that you fix your football team. And then, I think the goal that everybody has in this thing is you become wealthy, if you will, with your young kids, right? Like you build a program with your young kids, but the portal is what gets you those 3 extra wins from year to year that I think, most of these guys are looking for. And nowadays, what are those 3 wins worth? I mean, it's worth contracts. You find yourself in situations where I have to have guys that are on the field right this second. I can't care about what's going to happen in 3 years because I have a job to keep now. And so I think, with that, we've lost development. And then there's the common sense, and I would love you guys' takes on this. There's the common sense of, if I'm a coach and there's a guy in there who's already redshirted and he's got 3 years left and he's 20 years old and he's 225 pounds and he's already been through 2 college guys, what? 2 college years. Why am I going to recruit an 18-year-old who's 180 pounds when I can go get this guy who's got 3 years left, right? So it's hard to cuss guys that are recruiting that way because it makes a lot of sense, Coach.
Yeah, go ahead, Leon.
No, I was going to ask you, is that the reason why National Signing Day is before the portal? Because a kid could be swayed. You go and sign an 18-year-old kid, all right, that plays cornerback, all right? You recruit him and you hope he plays well, but then you got issues at cornerback. Now you go in the portal and get somebody who's a redshirt sophomore who's been there, more developed 3 years. I mean, that kid that just signed with you, could he be swayed to flip on you knowing that you win the portal and got somebody?
Yeah. I think this whole calendar is messed up. I can't imagine being a college coach right now.
Yeah.
In 4 days, they went signing day, conference championships, open a portal. In 4 days.
Yeah.
You don't have time to do anything with that. And the way that it's done now, Georgia has guys hitting the portal, and they're the number 2 seed in the country. Think about that that's wild. Well, that's insane, but it's where college football is right now.
Well, the point that you just made is big to me. One of the things that changes, not only is offense and defense and all these different things changed, but patience has changed. In other words, that head coach is saying, okay, do I develop this guy? You said it. Do I develop this guy, or do I bring in a guy that's going to make sure that I win 8 games this year and keep my job? Because it doesn't last very long. You're in one year, you're out the next.
What I have found, and this is probably sad, especially to you two guys, is the biggest decision of their lives is not where I'm going to sign anymore. It's, am I going to enter the portal or not? And that decision is the intensity of that decision is way bigger than where you're going to go to school. Because I tell people this all the time, like, as hard as it is to get a scholarship, and I'm speaking from a quarterback perspective, it's way harder to get on the field once you got there than it was to get that scholarship.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And you've got to make the right moves. And if everybody else is playing a game, you better make sure you're playing that same exact game. And so the intensity of these decisions are crazy at 19 years old.
Yeah. I think head coaches, you tell me if I'm wrong, Denny, but I think head coaches love it and hate it. The ones that embrace it are going to figure it out because they love the idea that they can go get X number of players and get them fairly fast. And they don't have to put up with all the, hey, I was a 5-star, I deserve to play right away. They've all been humbled to a degree, okay? They like that part because, like you said, they're in the at the training table, in the weight room, and they're bigger, they're more developed. Other schools are going, gosh, man, am I going to waste my time just to do all this just because that guy's going to skate off and get more money somewhere else? So there's a really big love-hate relationship, I think, with coaches in the portal.
Well, the NCAA thinks that they're solving it with this profit share thing. I don't think it's even going to come close. My personal opinion is, as long as there's recruiting involved, there's going to be extra activity. Until you have a draft, like, everybody's not going to play fair. Because I can persuade that 5-star to come to me. I can't do that in the NFL, but I can do that in college, and my job requires that on some level. So yeah, I mean, I think we're probably closer to the solution, but we're not that close.
It's just such a kick in the shorts. Like, Leon was a devoted, diehard, wanted to be a Cane, became a Cane, stayed a Cane. And it's just such a kick in the shorts. Like we said, let's just use Leon as an example. He is a rising player. And Leon, you jump in, but you're going to have guys coming at you saying, whatever they paid you, we'll pay you more. And fans are just getting hosed. And the player does win in the end because he gets to go somewhere else. But the what were you, Leon? 2-time All-America or 3-time?
No, I was a 1-time All-American.
Okay, All-America.
Well, you got to remember, I was a 2-star. I wasn't getting no checks.
You're right. But whatever. But I get what you're saying. But I guess the romance. My whole point is the romance with the fan, the stars that stay there, and the team. That 3-way game is kind of toast.
Yeah.
Well, but at the same time, though, Leon, if after your first year at Miami, if you would have found out that somebody had a spot for you ready to go and $350,000 there as well, like, do you stay at Miami? And I think that may be Joe's point.
Yeah, probably.
You say that now because you're like a.
It didn't mean that much. Listen, I enjoy being a Hurricane. Absolutely.
Oh,
I was just built different.
Did Leon just tell us that would have been a pay cut?
No.
Nah.
He probably was a pay
He
cut.
said, "Rock me like a hurricane."
That was probably a pay cut.
He didn't mind the nightclubs either.
Facts, true.
But I know there's a solution because Miami is using the NIL to keep players there. So there is a solution. And then back to Denny's original point, which we all have talked about it, Matt's been, the main guy behind it, is that when they do get pay for play, at the very least, somehow, some way, you're going to come up with some sensible restrictions to let a team get rewarded for keeping a player. Instead of constantly having to bid for his services. That's the part that's messed up. I know we got to go, but you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, but I don't know how you do that. I mean, you can't just make money up, right? I mean, you can hit that with salary cap stuff in the NFL and like, I guess, what is it, the tax penalty, the penalty in the NBA, but you can't do that in college.
No.
I mean, you can't do that in college. That money has to come from somewhere, and so I don't know. It's an interesting situation. It's an interesting dilemma that I don't think when millions and millions and millions of dollars were allowed to pour into college football, I don't think this was thought about.
All right.
And now it's an issue.
All right, brother, man. We appreciate it as always. Denny_Thompson. Check him out on X. And, of course, all things quarterback talk. We appreciate it, bro.
All right. See you guys soon.
All right, we'll keep it rolling. Wrap
Have a
our
good
show
one,
up.
Denny.
Franchi's show coming up next right here on the Superstation.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers.
I'm Chris Campione. In a world of big box law firms with satellite offices, there's something special about having a local legal team that cares about you and your community. We're not just lawyers, we're your neighbors. We understand the unique challenges facing the Jacksonville community because we live here too. At Campione Law, Campione Cares isn't just a tagline. It's our commitment to you. Campione Law, your trusted lawyers after an accident. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione, Campione Law.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. We're moving closer to the playoffs in the NFL and college football, and that's a perfect time to play and win with Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with more than 10 million active members. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch your winnings roll in. Think Joe Burrow will throw for more than 2 touchdown passes? It's just that simple. And now you can win up to 100 times your money with as little as 4 correct picks. Look, Prize Picks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out even if your lineup isn't perfect. That's right. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit and cash out in quickly as 15 minutes. Now, here's the best part. Prize Picks is the only real money daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy. That means your lineups stay in play even if one of your players gets injured. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code JAX, J-A-X, and get $50 instantly when you play 5. It's all there at Prize Picks. Run your game.
When you're shopping for insurance, you might say, "What? Huh?"
I'm so over this.
But what you really need to say is something that could actually help.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
When you get a local State Farm agent, they can help make it easy and help you choose the coverage you need. Plus, they're available online, over the phone, or even in person.
I'm so into this.
Call State Farm agent Scott Hobson in Ponte Vedra at 479-9000.
Post-game Monday on 1010XL is brought to you by Dandy Foods, makers of quality fresh sandwiches and home of the good stuff.
This is Tony Baselli, Pro Football Hall of Famer. I was known for protecting our quarterback. These days, I'm extending that protection to a different arena, your home. I have partnered with Heritage Roofing of North Florida, your premier local roofers with over 25 years of experience. Heritage is your go-to roofer for hurricane preparation with same-day inspections and estimates. They also work with all insurance companies. Let Heritage Roofing of North Florida safeguard your home and family. Visit heritagenfl.com for your free estimate today.
State license CCC 1335410.
Picking here for About 9 Associates, where you'll find Jacksonville's most esteemed eye doctors at each of their locations. After being selected for one of the most competitive ophthalmology fellowships in the world, Dr. Frank Bowden is frequently called upon for his expert opinion. He is currently one of the few cornea and external disease specialists in the area and the founder of About 9. Visit Bow 9 Associates today and experience the difference. Bow 9 Associates, keeping the First Coast focused.
Hey, y'all. Melissa Scobie here. And you know my husband, Josh, could really kick that ball. But when it comes to working around the house, well, not so much. So when I need irrigation, drainage, or seamless gutters, I rely on John Haney's crews at Clearwater. Hit it, guys.
Clearwater Irrigation.
And drainage, too.
ClearwaterJacks.com.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
This Day in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On December 9, 2018, NFL quarterback Tom Brady breaks Peyton Manning's record for most touchdown passes in NFL history, recording 582.
If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it work. Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
Stop letting high-interest debt weigh you down. Pay it all off in days thanks to Loan Pronto's new Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Prosser here. Imagine a completely hassle-free way to cash out your home equity. No appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan uses an AI-driven tech to get you approved for cash in as little as 1 day. One client got $100,000 approved in under 24 hours, wiped out their debt, launched a home improvement project, and is now saving over $1,000 a month. Instant approvals, low fixed rates, fast transfers. Get cash to consolidate all your debt and get a fresh start for the new year. Call Loan Pronto now and see how much you qualify for. Imagine this time next week, you can be credit card debt-free. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. That's 904-999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit, MLS, consumeraccess.org.
If you suffer from constant burning, tingling, or numbness in your hands or feet, it could be a serious condition called neuropathy. I'm Dr. Nathan Riddle, DC with Riddle Wellness in Ponte Vedra. Neuropathy is treatable, and we have seen great results by using state-of-the-art, non-invasive therapies to target damaged nerves, reduce symptoms, and improve nerve function. Call 904-395-5598 to schedule your free consultation today and learn how you can live pain-free. Call 904-395-5598.
This is Dr. Steve Crenshaw, Assistant Team Physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Jaguars edge rusher Josh Hines Allen picked up his 7th sack of the season on Sunday against the Titans. Allen in the postgame on the Jaguars' 10-6 victory over Tennessee.
It feels great. Obviously, we talked about it earlier in the week, man. Playoff berth not there, but, we still have a lot to play for. I'd rather be feeling like this than feeling, sad. So it's like, man, we're going to fight to the end. Great energy today, great composure throughout the whole game, and, hopefully we can continue to build on this.
Josh Hines Allen, courtesy of Jaguars.com. Hines Allen is second on the team in sacks behind Trayvon Walker. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
All right, my takeaway is college football. How disrespectful it is to my Miami Hurricanes. It's bad enough we're not in the playoffs. You've left Cam Ward off of all the ceremonial awards that he could win as a player. But then you know what you do? You give us the freaking Part-Tart Bowl. The Part-Tart Bowl, Coach. For 10-2, we go to the Part-Tart Bowl in Orlando.
Pop-Tarts.
How much more disrespect would this college football have to be than my game? But when you can't win it down the stretch, Coach, that's where you go.
That's true. I would agree with that. And I would agree with your whole assessment there of the situation. My takeaway is, and I know we're going to get into this quite a bit tomorrow on Primetime, but my takeaway is that I look at these two teams, the Tennessee Titans and the New York Jets, exactly the same. Our offense is about the same. Their defense is better than ours. And the only difference is, I think that they got a GOAT at quarterback who could go off at any time. He hasn't done it necessarily, but I'm a little concerned. But I think this is a game that goes into the fourth quarter, and we got a chance to win.
All right, my takeaway, just thanks to Coach, just took me in a totally different direction, and I know we'll get back to what you just talked about, but what about the Miracle Mets stealing your Yankee coach?
Oh, you gotta be
Juan
kidding
Soto.
me. Are you kidding me?
To the tune of the biggest contract, massive contract. So the Danny Hickens, the JDs of the world, they are all stoked about Soto over there in Queens instead of in the Bronx. Wow, that was big.
That's a shame. Listen, when was the last time you heard that 16 years, $750 $50 million wasn't enough. It had to go 15 years, so instead of 47.5 a year, it's 51.5 a year, and the guy takes that difference.
Yeah, it is a different world. I think we would all agree with that. That's for sure. All right, so as we do wrap it up, and you just went back, they think they got a chance to beat the Jets, and I'm not going to disagree with that at all. By the way, anybody who watched the game yesterday between Miami and New York, it went down to the wire. We're at a game that some people might have been caught sleeping inside the stands at times between the Jags and the Titans. And then that game went to overtime. Jonnu Smith on the receiving end of a Tua touchdown. So they ended with a 6-point score. But a little life coming out of New York offensively and defensively in that football game. So we'll look and see. But real quick, just to stay on the game that we had yesterday, you guys, before we're done with it. There was nothing that made you say, I want to see more of that. Was there, Leon, on both sides of the ball? It's not flatlining, but there's not a whole hell of a lot going on right now for this offense. And you've got to see something a little bit better for my money to keep this offense and this staff intact based on what we're seeing right now.
Well, I mean, it's two things offensively. I want to see a little bit more of that. I think Tank Bigsby had a couple of nice little runs down the stretch. Coach had talked about in the fifth quarter. He had a nice couple of breakaway runs for like 9, 11 yards and that kind of stuff. So I want to see more of that. I want to see more of BTJ. I want to see more, get him the ball more early and often down the stretch. I mean, get him. And I think Jones, Coach was talking about, he has a chance to be a star. I think on that blitz package where he came around the corner and got the sack, and then he defended Calvin Ridley pretty good on a couple of the pass plays. So if you ask me if I want to see a little bit more, it has more to do with the younger guys than anything else.
Yeah, and I'd like to see Strange get a little bit more action. I think he's got a chance to be a decent player. I think he's, again, I want BTJ to beat whatever it is, Thomas. I want him to get the ball. Period.
Yeah, it's ridiculous that you have to go this long in a football game before everything comes together. And I know it's a backup quarterback. It ain't Trevor. It is Mac. But heck, everything that came out of last week, they said, well, wait a minute, Trevor's offense wasn't moving. At least Mac got it going late, and they did again in the fourth quarter of this ball game. Why in the world it takes that long is beyond me. But yeah, the draft picks over a 2-year period can prove to be really, really important. And you guys already mentioned Brenton Strange and Tank Bigsby. You throw Ventrell Miller in there, you can argue, even Tyler Lacey a little bit, that you've got some guys in Ventrell and Tyler that are rotational players. Certainly Ventrell is exciting to watch. Tyler is getting some playing time. Don't know that he's made a whole hell of a lot of an impact, but he is getting more playing time. But then the developable guys that you want over these, two drafts, the last couple of drafts, then you can basically take a look at it and see if you have something going forward. Jarian Jones definitely looks like he has the potential. We don't know about DeAndre Prince or any of these other guys, but the secondary is sorely in need of more draft picks paying off. Buster Brown paid off a little bit, but you don't quite know what you got. Do you guys know that he is a solid guy opposite Tyson Campbell? I don't think we know that. And so there's still more guys, more playmakers need to be found through the draft than basically what has been found.
Yeah, I think Monteric's done a decent job. I think that by and large, he probably would have been better than Darby if he'd played the whole year more. But again, Darby is who he is, and I'm hopeful that the young guys get a chance here in the next 4 games to really get some playing time, and looking forward to next year. And I think winning is part of that. I think winning from a confidence level helps you develop as well.
Yeah. All right, fellas, we'll bat those types of subjects around tomorrow. Coach will be back with us hanging out on Tuesday. We miss Matt Hayes. He'll be back later in the week. He's doing USA Today Sports, covering college, so we'll have him back. But we had a great time today. A big old thanks to Old Red up here. The son-in-law definitely moved up in the power rankings. We had a great time. I'm about to dig in to some steak tacos, and let me just grab this real quick as we're done. But this right here, ladies and gentlemen, the Battle of the Bills, this is still in the hands of Duval. Thankfully, we beat up on those hated Titans. We are done. Mocama Beer Company Monday, thanks to them. We will talk to you mañana at 2 o'clock. Joe C., our Hall of Famer, Big Searcy, and our head coach, Dave Campo. Along with RJ, we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Everyone wants to doubt Jacksonville. Never doubt